What is up, everybody? Shawn Tubbs here with Revv Amps. Today I want to talk about more of a kind of a topical subject, I guess. The difference between using a pick or just your fingers. And there's obvious reasons in playing guitar. If you're doing something that's finger style, then of course you're going to use I'm not so much talking about that as much as really diving into just the tonal aspects of what it sounds like to use a pick as opposed to what it sounds like to use your fingers. So in that kind of opening noodling thing I did, that's a tone. It's like I don't have like really long fingernails. I try to keep as much kind of flesh in there as possible, and the fingernails just kind of help catch the string. Now, the one thing that's obvious to me when it comes to playing with your fingers is just the actual motion of the string. So usually when you're pulling on a string using your fingers, you're pulling out or maybe slightly up and out. And that causes the string to, kind of smack back into the fretboard and also pull away from the magnet on the pickup. So if I try to get that same tone with a pick, I can't really do it. Not that that doesn't sound great, but that's not the tone. So it's just a tonal thing. It's to get a more, sometimes a warmer sound, sometimes a little bit more snap. But if I want it to be warmer, because even if I try to do that with a pick, it just doesn't really come across the same. And the other thing to think about too is if you're really wanting to expand your vocabulary as a player and not use so much muscle memory, I would really suggest strongly actually playing more with your fingers, because for one thing, you can't play as fast necessarily unless you're one of those crazy guys that can do that, and there's not many of you, but hats off to the ones who can. It forces you to be more melodic when you're thinking about even just single notes. It's very personalized to me anyways, as to when you go back and forth between using your fingers or a pick. And then of course there's tricks with picks too. I mean, I never use really anything but, for the most part, a Fender kind of heavy style pick. But sometimes I'll use the tip of the pick like most guys, but sometimes I'll use the shoulder. That's a tone. That's the tip of the pick, the sharp side, and then the dull side or the shoulder. That's a lot warmer, and it also feels different. Whoops. Be conscious of that. Be conscious of, as I was been talking about this whole time, using your fingers, but there's different places on the guitar. Even using a pick back by the bridge is a totally different tone than, and I haven't switched pickups. So there's just so much to be drug out of a guitar besides switching pickups. I mean, it's, use, your fingers, use the pick, but use the pick at different angles, turn the pick in, try things to just get different tones. Like that thing right there. That's all just snap, That's not going to come from using a pick. And even adding like an overdrive, like the Revv G2. And by the way, I'm using the Revv G2 into my Revv D20. So that initial tone is the Revv D20. Now the Revv G2's on. It's kind of the same thing. If I do that without the pick. Hear how it's got more just kind of a chirp to it almost. So and I know that I can literally go on forever, and you guys are probably like, yeah, you've gone on forever. But even turning the volume down on the guitar, even with an overdrive pedal on, switch to your fingers, and then roll it up. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about this with you guys and just kind of throw it out there. So type, let me know what you guys use. Do you, what picks do you use? Do you use heavies, mediums, what style pick? But when you're not using a pick, using your fingers, do a lot of guys do that? And then, in you guys' case, there's all the hybrid picking. I'm not really talking about that where you're playing country riffs or anything. It's more focused on, the tone. What are you guys using to get different tones out of your guitar via just manipulating how you're playing it? I'd love to hear what you're doing. And as always, thanks so much for watching these videos. And yeah, we will see you next time.